Okay, so how do we pick out a neck pillow, a pillow for sleeping, to improve our sleeping? What are some of the tips that we need to know? Lots of people come into the clinic and say, hey, I've got this neck pillow, does it work for my neck? And a neck pillow, like a lot of things in life, has to fit your neck. So we have to pick that out. So we have to consider different types of pillows fit different people. So I want to give you a few tips on how to consider, what to consider to get a pillow that really fits your neck. And quite frankly, I can tell you all these things, and sometimes it gets down to ordering some pillows and see what kind of fits your neck, basically. But I'm going to give you a few tips, just things you can consider going to a store. A lot of people, when we order on Amazon, we're kind of going by what we see on the website, and we're really kind of going by that, and we really can't feel it, touch it, and see if it kind of fits our neck. But I'm going to show you a few things that's come up in the clinic too about people that have poor fitting, or actually the neck pillow is actually making it worse for them, not better in the morning. So this video is for people that especially wake up with headaches in the morning. Sometimes they'll have a headache here, even into the front, upper neck pain. Sometimes it even extends into the shoulder blade area and across the shoulders. They kind of wake up with it. So let's talk about that. This is one of the neck pillows we use here in the clinic here. It's a McKenzie neck pillow. You might have seen this online somewhere. I'm not held to one particular manufacturer. I want to make sure it fits you. Like obviously this size may fit, some people, not others. Okay. So what are we trying to do when we're using a neck pillow? What are we trying to do here? So what we're trying to do here is this is our skeleton Bucky. This is a normal skeleton. The only thing on here is we show a nerve right here, and there's on the other side they have this. They'll show a herniated disc. But the skeleton right here has normal curves. Okay, very normal curves. So this is a little inward curve they call lumbar lordosis. This is your lower back view here. Then it comes out into the thoracic spine, which is this region right here, and then the cervical spine. So you'll hear these things called sometimes cervical pillows. And this is our skull. Pretty straightforward. This little indentation right here is where we're going to be placing our neck pillow as it rests, depending if you're on sideline or on your back. Sometimes when you're sitting, we'll use a lumbar roll you'll see in cars and such like that, and they're trying to help support that roll when we're sitting or lying down. So let's show. We're going to bring Bucky, we're going to put him on the table, so we're going to have you walk back a little bit. So all we're trying to do is keep everything neutral in this normal curve, so everything's resting evenly. When we're really flexed with our neck or extended, flexed or extended like that, we put certain structures on stretch and certain structures we slacken, and that can create some pain and discomfort, especially if we have a neck condition or we have any loss of motion in our neck or lower back. So let's go ahead and take a look at Bucky here. All right, he's survived several years. Okay, so this is Bucky lying down. Okay. So from the side view here, where we're resting here, we're trying to support that little indentation right here. So this is a kind of a firm, firm surface too, which we're going to talk about in a second. And we want to slide that neck pillow right about here. Okay. Now most people, this is probably even a little bit big for our skeleton. It's putting a little bit more pressure. It may not be comfortable. And the first thing is it really should be comfortable when you use this type of pillow. So the way we use this pillow, if you're a regular person here, you're going to take a pillow. This is this particular neck pillow. We're going to slide this in the bottom here, all right? Just in the bottom here. And then we're going to have a rest down. And this is going to rest right into that little curve, and then it's going to support the upper, the skull right here in the back. It's supposed to correct that curvature, keep that curvature. Certain pillows I've seen that are a little larger sometimes will be too high. So let's have you move it around so you can see more from the side view. They'll run too high, and they're actually catching the person here. This area is too long, and it's taking the neck, and it's actually moving, it's flexing it forward, and that's causing some problems. I'm going to show you with someone else, with Fred, our aide here. He's going to help us out a little bit to show that. So if it's extending too far, it'll support the neck, but it'll also cause the neck to kind of flex forward. So that's not a great pillow for that person. The perfect position is it kind of stops, the curvature is right before it hits the bat right here. They call the occiput in the back right here, and into that region. So that's our perfect position. We also will show a sideline position too, using the pillow too. It's hard, some people can't stay in one position all night, so unfortunately these pillows sometimes get knocked around. Even if you get half a night where you're in a good position, that's better than nothing. And sometimes that really helps you with that neck stiffness, headaches, or pain in the morning that you wake up with. It's all related to that position. The other thing to consider before we have Fred demonstrate with a real person is the type of surface you're on. If you're on a mattress that's really, really firm, this pillow will act differently because as much as we're talking about neck position, your back position, your body position, depending if you have a bed that's really soft and compressive, that may change your neck position a little bit too. Our preferred positions for sleeping are typically on our back or on our side. Okay, so all it is about keeping these curves. Some people actually will, use, like I said, we use a lumbar roll in sitting, kind of maintaining this lumbar curve, and that's one of the ideas. So let's get rid of Bucky here. Let's put him away. Hopefully I won't hurt him too much. So, okay. Fred, come on over. So we're gonna have Fred sit down right here. So Fred is about, let's say he's about maybe 140, 150. If it give you too much weight, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But we're saying he's a certain stature. So depending on the size of the person using the roll, we have someone that's 250 pounds, a little longer neck, a little wider shoulders. We may need a different roll for that person. So that's why it's so hard to just say, try this roll. So we're going to show it working on Fred. I'm going to give you a little pointers on how to position it and such. So let's have it lie down, Fred. We're going to just kind of show, we showed on the skeleton earlier. Lie back, and you want to have that. So this fits Fred pretty good, actually. This isn't bad for his body type, okay? So lying on his back, he's got a little bit of that inward curve there. His upper skull, or his skull right about here, is just off the edge of this roll. So we're keeping that nice curve that Bucky has here and support the roll. Now another position that we can do is a side line. A lot of people prefer side line. I prefer side line. So let's have you turn on your side. Now in this position, we want to get that side curve. We want to see, which we didn't talk about as much at the start, there's a little bit of an inward curve, let's see from the back here, that rests in here. This is where this roll is acting right on Fred's neck, is on the side here, okay? The roll shouldn't come up onto the head here. I had a person actually that was talking about having ear pain with the neck roll they were using. The neck roll was too large, like this section right here was too large, and it extended up. It was actually pushing your neck into kind of a side bend position. So you want everything kind of like as we would stand in nice straight alignment, okay? So this one actually worked well for him. Little wider shoulders, we may need a roll or a pillow that's a little thicker in this spot, and this will be a little higher. Okay, or someone that's a little smaller, let's say a 90, 100 pound person, a little smaller. Maybe this is too much of a correction there. Let's have you sit up, Fred. Fred's doing a great job. He's really open. This is his second video with us here. Another thing too is, this, like I said, one size does not fit all. It reminds me of my ex-boss that I asked, he's a big cyclist. He says, what's the best bike seat for me? I was kind of getting into biking at the time. He goes, the one that fits your butt, fits your, and I go, okay, that's a good point. So you may have to play around with a few different types. At home, just to kind of get a sense of the right size roll, same idea. You can use a regular pillow depending on the thickness, and you can take like a towel. And let's say we have someone that's a little smaller, like someone's like 100 pounds. Maybe we'll take a little towel and let's roll it up and experiment a little bit. Let's make a little smaller, like a slider roll like that. You can do it at home. You don't necessarily need a roll. Granted, it's not like the foam that's in the roll we showed you earlier. Take a couple rubber bands and place it back here. A little less of a profile, but you have someone that's not, it doesn't have as much of an indent or that curvature, that might actually really help them out. I had a woman that was very used to sleeping without a pillow. So she actually used these rolls. She'd lie flat on her mattress, and she would just let this roll rest there, and she'd lie down onto the roll. So you got to kind of find out what works for you. There's different types of densities, like some of the Tempur-Pedic material will have greater contact. It really forms to your head. Other rolls are not as, they don't really fit the contours of your neck and your skull, so they're not as forgiving. The Tempur-Pedic material is very nice. Sometimes it gets a little warm on some people, but it definitely contours a little bit better. But if the Tempur-Pedic roll is overall a little bit too big, then it may actually cause more harm than good. I wish you luck. I hope this gave you a little information. Please subscribe to our channel if you have more information on various orthopedic sports injuries, especially related to spine. Or place a comment in the section that may be something that we didn't answer in our video. Okay? Have a great day.